everyone, I'm DELANE Cleveland. Every day, our news team brings you stories from the community that you call home. Here's a look at today's stories, and you can always find more on our website, ccxmedia.org.
Police reform has been a big topic in the aftermath of the death of a Minneapolis man named George Floyd. Floyd died on Memorial Day after a former Minneapolis police officer kneeled on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. Last month, state legislators failed to pass reforms to ban the use of neck restraints by police officers. Several Minnesota departments are discussing either putting limits on or even banning the use of neck restraints. The Plymouth Police Department is also reviewing their use of force policy, which includes neck restraints.
We have temporarily put a moratorium on it so that our officers are not authorized to use it unless it's a deadly force situation. And during that moratorium, that just gives us some time to really have a conversation and also wait for guidance from the state legislature.
Deputy Chief FADDEN says neck restraints would be used in situations where a suspect is actively fighting and resisting officers and is extremely violent. He says up to 4 times a year, Plymouth officers are trained in neck restraints. In the last 10 years, Plymouth has had to use the neck restraint only twice.
And because of how well our officers are trained and how much of a focus we put on training here at Plymouth Police Department, I think it speaks volumes that we do have such a low rate of having to ever use force, because our officers have other tools and understand that words often and most of the time can de-escalate a situation to the point that we don't have to use force and keep people safe.
FADDEN adds that what happened to George Floyd is not what Plymouth officers are trained to do. Pafua Yang, CCX News.
The coronavirus pandemic is expected to have an impact on student learning, which means there could be a greater need for math and reading tutors in schools next fall.
This year, with a significant break due to COVID-19 over the spring months, we're anticipating, along with many of our school partners in the state, that student need is going to be significantly larger than we've ever seen in our history as a program. And so we're really trying to get the word out to let people know that there is going to be such a great need this year just because of that extra time off.
The Minnesota Reading and Math Corps says there's always a bit of a summer slump in reading and math retention. But after distance learning, they expect the gaps between where students are and where they need to be even greater. Here's what the shortage looks like so far in our local cities for next fall. Brooklyn Park and Maple Grove have the highest need, but there are openings in several schools in our cities. And of course, a big question among schools, parents, and tutors is what will the school year look like next fall, and how will it impact tutoring?
We do have the capacity for our tutors to support whatever form of distance learning is going on at their school. Of course, it looks a little different than the in-person model that we normally work with, but that has been kind of priority for us, is making sure that we have meaningful options for tutors to still be able to engage with their students.
Tutors do receive a stipend, and some may qualify for additional benefits like health insurance or child care assistance. If you are interested in applying to be a tutor, we have the information on our website, ccxmedia.org.
Hello everyone, I'm Pafua Yang, and behind me is Lake Minnetonka. Around the time of the year, there's a lot of boating traffic, and so Hennepin County has efforts underway to prevent the spread of aquatic invasive species. And I have Tony Bruff here with me. He's with Hennepin County. Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Tony, first of all, tell us what kinds of invasive species would we find in Lake Minnetonka?
So Lake Minnetonka has curly leaf pondweed, Eurasian milfoil, zebra mussels, carp, flowering rush, and so most of them are plants, but there are a few animals too with the carp. So.
Okay, what's the county doing to prevent these?
We look at all the potential pathways, so it's very important to understand that we're all in this together. Public accesses are one of the main ways that things can spread from lake to lake, but that's not the only way. You got homeowners with water gardens, you got pets, where pet release issues, you got float planes that go from lake to lake. So there can be other sources, and the goal is to take a nice comprehensive look at all the possible pathways, treat them all similar, and really try to empower the users of the lake to take the correct actions
What are some of those actions?
Okay, so specifically with the boat access that we have over here, the thoughts that you need are clean, drain, dry, dispose. So we really want you to clean your boat. Take a look under the trailer. Take all the plants off. Those plants also, I've noticed over here lately, starting to have zebra mussels on them. So you get a 2-for-1. If you pull a leaf off, you're actually probably pulling the zebra mussels also. You want to drain all your water by opening up your bilge plugs and your live well and get the water out of there. And if you can, dry those areas. And lastly, dispose of any unwanted bait correctly.
And we'll definitely have more information on that on our website, ccxmedia.org. Reporting in Spring Park, Pafua Yang, CCX News.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.
Looking for local? Even more local? CCX Media gives you the option to connect with your community on multiple levels. CCX Create welcomes you, community residents, to connect and experience television in an exciting way. The free TV classes we offer will have you on your way to creating TV, and our wide variety of content can be watched at home or on the go. Connect to what's happening in your community. Visit ccxmedia.org.